Setting up the press for a two-color job. This is a feeder stint. It is used to keep the paper stack from jamming towards the end of the stack. For this particular job, we'll be using 50-pound paper.
Make sure your paper is neatly jogged and is cut right, making sure all pieces are the same size. When loading the paper, make sure it is positioned properly. This is where the center of the paper should be. This crank is to adjust the first set of side guides. There is one located on either side of the feeder tray. Make sure the side guides are close enough to keep the paper from moving, but not snug enough to keep it from being picked up by the sucker tubes. Make sure you adjust the second set of side guides. These should also be tight enough to keep the paper from moving, but not snug enough to prevent the sucker tubes from picking up the paper. The back guides should barely be touching the paper. This part of the tray lifts up so you can easily put the paper in without having to lower the table too much.
This is the moving side guide. It moves back and forth to jog the paper correctly into place. You can loosen it and then just move it by hand to adjust it. Make sure you tighten it when you're done. These wheels keep the paper flat on the conveyor tapes. Make sure they are properly aligned with the tapes so the paper does not catch on the table and cause a misfeed. This hand wheel is to make micro adjustments on the moving side guide. This wheel is to adjust the double detector. Some jobs require you to move the conveyor tapes in order to get proper registration. To move these conveyor tapes, you must reach under the table and grab the bar under that in which the conveyor tapes pass through. Once you get those right, it is key to move the wheels back on so that the paper does not catch on the tray and misfeed into the press. This switch can be used to start and stop the flow of paper into the press. There's 5 sections of this lever. The first one, nothing's touching. This one, damping's touching, then ink, then blanket, and then your paper. Once you get your paper set up and running, you can then shut off the press and get everything set up to put ink on it. This is the delivery tray. This is where your paper goes when it is done printing. Make sure that everything is set and all your safety guides are shut off before you start the press. If you don't do this, you will not be able to start up the press and you will get nowhere. Many people are intimidated by the two-color press and its vast amounts of features and adjustments that require to run it. But in fact, if set up correctly, the two-color press can be the easiest press to run.
This is an ink knife.
We use it to put ink on the ink fountain roller. This is the ink lever. We use this to distribute the ink evenly on the ink roller. Take the solution bottle off so you can then lift the safety guard to glaze the roller. When you're done glazing it, Put the guard back down and place the solution bottle in the proper position.
This is the emergency shutoff switch. It must be twisted off in order to start the press. These are the jogger buttons. The green wants to jog up, the red wants to jog down. When this button is engaged, that means there is an image being transferred to your paper. This is the power button. In order to start it, you must have all safety guards enabled. The only buttons from the center control panel you need to know is the sucker tubes. And then there's these other ones, and then that tells you whether there's guards up or down or whatever. This is the counter. It tells you how many sheets you've printed. These buttons control how many RPMs you're running the press at. The more RPMs, the faster the press is running. Oh no, we're out of blanket solution. To make more blanket solution, we must go over to the sink. Once at the sink, you're going to get some universal pink. You use 1 ounce of universal pink. Use the graduated cylinder to measure it out. Once you have 1 ounce, pour it in your bottle and then walk over to the sink and fill it up with water. Make sure not to overfill the bottle or else you'll lose some of your solution. Once you have that done, you'll be set and ready to run the press. Make sure to be careful, follow all your safety instructions, and you'll be printing in no time.
Well, here we are again. It's always such a pleasure. Remember when you tried to kill me twice? Oh, how we laughed and laughed. Except I wasn't laughing. Under the circumstances, I've been shockingly nice. You want your freedom, take it. That's what I'm counting on. I used to want you dead, but now I only want you gone. She was a lot like you, maybe not quite.